Hey everybody, how's it going? Good to see all of you. All right, I think I got everything organized. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about this whole idea of putting together a commemorative speech. Now, for the last speech of the semester, you have two choices. You can either do a speech to entertain, which is also known in certain circles as an after dinner speech. Or alternatively, you can do a commemorative speech. And so I've already talked a little bit in a past video about the speech to entertain. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about the commemorative speech. And to be specific about the commemorative speech, a lot of people have asked me about how do you go about researching a commemorative speech? Because we require that you do research outside of your own personal experience for all the speeches once we get beyond the narrative speech. And yet for this one, a lot of it is based on information you've gathered from just being around this person. Because the idea of the commemorative speech is to celebrate the life of somebody that is still in your life, that's still alive, that or somebody that's passed away. So the person doesn't have to have passed away necessarily, but to celebrate their life. And a lot of people are celebrating, like, for example, family members, which is great. So in terms of the research that you do, sort of boots on the ground, this person, you can interview the person. If they're still alive, you can interview people around them. That's pretty straightforward. The problem students have, or the question they have a lot of times, is how do you research these folks, in the sense that some of them haven't had a lot written about them. And one of the requirements is to have things like source citations and to do research either at the library or on the internet or through books and magazines or through websites. How do you do that part of it? Because some of the people that we're maybe giving speeches about aren't necessarily all that famous that they've been written about, the family members, for example. And it needs to be somebody you know. So the reason that isn't a problem is because the articles that you find, whether they be internet articles or magazine articles or things from websites or books, etc., they don't have to be specifically about the person that you're giving a speech on. They can actually be about something related to that person. So, for example, if you're doing a speech commemorating your uncle, and your uncle is a retired firefighter, you could use articles from the internet, from magazines, etc., about firefighters in your speech. And they don't necessarily need to be specifically about your uncle or even his particular station, but rather about firefighters in general. Or if you're giving a speech about your grandmother and she, for example, let's say hypothetically, immigrated to the United States from Vietnam, you could find articles about Vietnam, about Vietnamese immigrants, all of that, articles about grandmothers, all of that would be fair game in terms of putting together the sources for your speech. They don't have to be specifically about your grandmother. And so that's really how we do it. And I think that sometimes the challenge comes when people worry that the articles have to be specifically about the person you're giving the speech about. And so I guess the main point of this video is to emphasize that it's okay if the articles aren't specifically about the person you're giving a speech about. In fact, they probably won't be, but they're around them. And it could even be a hobby, for example, the person has. So for example, if you're giving a speech about your cousin, and your cousin is really into gardening, you could take articles from magazines, newspapers, the internet, websites, YouTube, etc., and they could be articles about gardening, and they don't have to specifically be about your cousin and his or her gardening situation. So I hope that helps. It should be a lot of fun. Don't worry, people have been doing this assignment for me for 27 years or something like that, even back when I taught it at another school many years ago. But I've been at City College for 25 years, and everybody's taught, done this and researched it this way, and it's always worked out for those people that chose the commemorative. So you will be able to find articles. It will work out. Just go online, use the library resources. The library databases are great, in my opinion, and you can find articles, but they don't have to be specifically about that person. Otherwise, we're looking forward to your speech. We're looking forward to hearing about, for those of you choosing the commemorative option, we're definitely looking forward to hearing about your friends and family members that you're commemorating, whether they be alive or someone who has passed away. We're definitely looking forward to these celebrations of their lives and, hearing your last speech of the semester. Okay, thank you so much and have an amazing day. Thank you.